Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation. We're going to be bringing you guys Game 3 of this Best 3 series. It's going to be Radical Online Extremists, RoX.KIS, going up against Dignitas here. It's been 1-1 as far as the wins go, but now we are jumping on into Game 3. It's been really interesting, this series here. We've had an Omni Knight pick, we've had some Warlock action, really diverse lineups that I kind of feel like I called it in the sense that I knew that these teams drafted weird, and right off the bat in Game 1, I'm like, the drafts will set the pace for the games, much more so than other ones. I mean, you see standard meta, you see trends, yada yada yada, and some teams are going to have to play aggressively. That kind of thing you see in every game. But in these games here, we're seeing that game every single time a weird pickup comes on through, and it becomes a huge impact in every single fight subsequently through each game. So it's been really cool, and now we're going to see what the two teams have to bring to the table in this final game. Once again, I am Blaze, and I have Vikram on here with me, co-casting it up. How's it going, man?
Hey man, really good. I'm like the world's biggest homer for bad unpicked heroes or good unpicked heroes, just heroes that don't get picks in general. So I've been really happy this week when we sort of seen all these weird little pocket picks coming out. Everybody's sort of practicing their Dooms, their Treants, their Omni Knights, and really people talk about how stagnant the metagame is, and it's true in one way and it's totally not true in another. I feel like you sort of have 3 picks every game that are total locks. Like, there's a core of heroes that you always pick, and then there's a periphery of your last 2 picks that I think can vary extremely widely. And I think there are really these sort of untapped gems where in the right mindset you can pick that 4th or 5th hero that really just completely changes the shape of the game. And that's exactly what happened there. I mean, how many times, Blaze, honestly, have we seen Lifestealer Lone Druid as a pair? Really frequently. They're 2 extremely popular heroes in the current meta. They're 2 great tastes that taste great together, right?
Yeah.
And this is like the first time we've actually seen people use an Omni Knight to counter them. Navi a support like for Puppy, I think like 2 months ago or something, and it didn't work out at all. But this is like the first time since then. But definitely getting really different this time.
Yeah, very different indeed. We see already picking up the Warlock and the Juggernaut together. That can be very strong. I like how it's a pick that goes up against Dignitas. Pretty much they see Dignitas picking up Darkseer and the Gyrocopter. They have picked this up before. They're like, we don't want to have to worry about the synergy there with the Warlock, so we're going to pick it up ourselves. But in conjunction with that, running another dual core lineup, but more oriented towards push with the Juggernaut here. We have the Healing Ward, which is great for the bear, great for the golems, both of them having large HP pools to restore very quickly. And yeah, that's going to be really nice for them to stay very active. I think the Iron Shell Flat Cannon and to a lesser extent the Wrath of Nature is going to be powerful, but I'm just not sure if it's enough yet.
We'll see how Dignitas fills it out. I like both teams' lineups. I do like the Juggernaut, but picking it so early is a very clear signal. Like, Juggernaut, when we see him, and he's not that uncommon of a pick, frankly, we see him usually towards the end of a draft because you sort of, you bait a certain composition from the other team, and then you say, haha, just kidding, push cheese. But with RoX picking it up this early, it's very clear what they're trying to do. They're going to push us 5, and the Lone Druid Bear and the Warlock Golem are going to stay up forever because of the Healing Ward, and you won't be able to deal with it. And the thing about that is now Dignitas have a very clear idea that that's what they're doing. And so they can try to do things to counteract that. I mean, they can still get the Lifestealer if he doesn't get banned out because he's good at high HP target pools. They can get anti-push, like, you know, your Keeper is obviously banned, but, you know, your Tinkers of the world or what have you is actually an option still for them. And there's a lot that they can now do to try to manage this Juggernaut. Unless this is all a big, like, it's a trick, and they're going to go the hard carry Airman, no leveling blade spin Juggernaut. Nice. Which I personally hate, but it is an option. People have done it.
Yeah, no, I mean, this could be a quick little feint. I like you're talking about the Juggernaut is almost always like going to be a 4th or 5th pick. There's no reason to prioritize him that early on. You give away your strategy pretty quickly, and along with that, really, he's not that going to be banned, generally speaking. You just don't see Juggernaut in the banning pool in this state of the game, even with as diverse of minds as Team Dignitas here. So I really think it could have been saved for later, but that might mean that they might be looking for something even more extreme. They might be looking for something more diverse, and that would be that much more interesting to look at. Right now, the Chen is a pretty obvious ban. I'm curious if the Enchantress will go along with it. But beyond this position here, I'm trying to think of what they really can add on. Warlock looking at mid, Lone Druid looking at off lane, Juggernaut safe lane with some try action.
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot of potential there, and one thing to I'm not sure how impactful it is, but Warlock Golem can heal a siege creep with his Shadow Words. That can help out and push a bit. But
okay. Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
But, I don't know. It's just, what do they need to kind of throw this out other than go in the other faint direction? If they go another direction, they can throw in a Wisp. They can make sure he's hard carry through lots of attack speed. I don't know.
I think at this point it will be the push one because of this Tinker ban. There's no reason to ban out the Tinker if you're not looking for the anti-push possibility. If it weren't Tinker, like I think they would look towards banning out really strong aggressive not aggressive, but really strong tri-lane heroes to make sure that the lone druid would actually be okay in the solo hard. But since the fact that they are banning out these heroes with pretty good AoE and wave clear ability, in addition to, I mean, the Clockwork is just a very solid pickup in general that Dignitas can run. So I think this probably will be the push approach. But the thing is, the push approach and the like hard carry jug approach is basically the same lanes. Like, you still run the tri-lane around the Jug, Lone Druid, and then the Warlock in the middle. So we'll see as we see what the Juggernaut builds out, especially as far as his skills go. If he gets early crit, then that's what that is. And if he doesn't get early crit, then it's more of the pushing focus.
So, again, this is Game 3, so they're kind of pulling out all the stops. They're optimum of creativity, trying to pull forward in this final match here. Just seems like we have a quick little disconnect.
I mean, I like the creativity on it. I hope that's not their drafter. Who actually disconnected?
No, okay. Just a Brown, so not a big deal. Snake King will be coming back on in, but they're kind of debating over what they want to follow this through with. Like I said, they already have some substantial counter push, but the question is how effective it will be. Right now, they have AoE teamfight with Darkseer and Gyrocopter. They have counter push with the 3 abilities as I mentioned previously, but they're still dealing with a pretty solid, difficult team fight. They're dealing with the Warlock, they're dealing with the Demonic Purge to set things up, and Juggernaut and Lone Druid are no slouches as far as their physical damage output. So I definitely think that they want to be a little bit more survivable. Maybe pick up something that can run a Diffusal. Might be definitely something on the page other than Gyrocopter. I mean, Gyrocopter definitely has that potential. We just generally don't see it. So
I would not expect the Diffusal Gyro, honestly. I mean, honestly, there's still a Phantom Lancer in the pool. They could make the lanes work for that if they so desired, and that is a strong Diffusal carrier, and I think it would be decent against RoX.KIS lineup, but people are shying away from the peel a little more now. I always thought that without the Keeper of the Light he wasn't nearly as strong, and I think teams are really just not drafting him nearly as much without the Keeper of the Light pair right now. Dignitas play this Shadow Shaman, though, a lot. They're like single-handedly making Shadow Shaman a thing. He's really good with Gyro, actually, because if you shackle somebody out of position not near creeps, they're dead. Like, that's a homing missile and the full duration of a rocket barrage on them, which no hero can live through, except for Omni Knight, but, you know, they're not going to take Omni again.
Unless they run Lone Druid Jungle, but no. Nevertheless, we'll see what RX has for us to finish these things off. Presumably a lane support would be appropriate, but we see the Witch Doctor come out. Really, really solid there. I'm not sure if he's going to max Voodoo Restoration, but it definitely seems like something viable if they want to just go for as gimmicky push as possible. Just huge amounts of healing, and kind of play similar to how Omni Knight was successful. Just war of attrition. Gradually, we can take trades, we can take battle exchanges, because exhausting a quarter of our mana pool, suddenly everybody's back up. They have Shadow Word, they have Healing Word, and they have Voodoo Restoration. That adds up quickly.
I'm a tiny bit sad that it's not Dazzle. I'm a big Dazzle freak, but actually, if I'm completely honest with myself, the Witch Doctor is a better pickup here, because of the interaction of Maledict and what's the Soul Catcher on Shadow Demon. That's like, boosh, that's a lot of freaking damage. So this Gyrocopter, which is probably AoE 2000 Gyro, Dignitas are looking to, if they want to flip the script and run a different carry, is what I think what's going on now. But if the Gyrocopter is their carry, he's going to rush that BKB like nobody's ever rushed a BKB before, because Soul Catcher, Maledict, and like a rock dropped on you from the Warlock is just, you're done. Even worse, Fatal Bonds, Soul Catcher, Maledict.
Oh gosh, don't even say those words together. Oh, that hurts to think about. Oh gosh, yeah, that is. That is a lot of damage, and then just like a single Omni Slash can kill like 3 people.
And just your team just goes whoosh, you sort of just vanish into the ether.
Yeah, just, put up a Radiance on the bear, and then set up a Malediction, soak out your Fatal Bonds, and just walk near them for about 7 or 8 seconds, and suddenly they just all fall over. It's just, I don't even know. Snaking going to go for the Magnus. I think it's a good pickup. A lot of potential with the need for team fight. They really want to be able to rush things on in and go in for some disables on the Juggernaut. Great. But most importantly, just really having some solid team fight. They get counter push with the Shockwave. They get bonus damage on the Gyrocopter from Empower. And the big thing, of course, is his signature reverse polarity there. As far as how they're going to lane this, though, it looks like they're going to be looking at a jungler, presumably, just having way too sexy jungle. Yeah, that looks like it with the 4 clarities.
Talk about Dignitas here? Yeah,
way too sexy jungle.
4 clarities is definitely a jungle prophet, and I like this. I think it's the right way to go. It gives them more XP. Shadow Shaman, another one of those supports that you really like to have him get a few levels, and that's easier in a dual lane than it is in a tri. So I like what they're doing here. Fogged could potentially be a big spoiler for this team. If he sort of picks off people from RoX.KIS early by, especially if he, it's going to be tough because he is playing the number 5, but if he eventually gets up to like a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff or something, that's really, really good initiation. You break up the combo, you use Snaking to RP, and you just blow them away with Aoi 2000's Gyro. He's a great Gyro player, honestly. It's one of his stronger heroes right now, I feel like. Aoi, another one of those people who plays a lot of different carries. I know that in scrims and in houses and stuff, he plays just all sorts of wacky shit. Like, obviously, we've seen the Spectre come out. We've seen all sorts of stuff. Like even I even saw them try Viper once against Lifestealer. It worked really badly though. But I mean, Gyro, strong hero. It's good that they keep it away from BZZ because he's been playing really, really well on it. And I've never actually seen him up on the Juggernauts. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. If the lanes don't change, I really, really am afraid for Dignitas as far as their potential to break out into the mid game without severe casualties. Right here, running a 2.5 lane up top with Fogged and Aoi sitting up there and then just having the way too sexy Prophet jungling is going to make it so that it's almost impossible to live against the Shadow Demons, Disruption into Blade Fury combo, along with that the Witch Doctor Cask. In general, just as long as RoX.KIS gets this 3 versus 2 effectively matchup, they're going to just completely walk all over Aoi, and he's not going to be able to really break out of the starting items. Essentially, he's going to get maybe boots, phase boost, magic wand, moving in that direction. He actually looks like he's either going Tranquilis or Aquila, but either way, as soon as that's done, like that's all he's going to be getting. He's not going to be transitioning into those big items, maybe a Yasha at best. And I really, really love RoX.KIS's tri-lane, but it almost feels too strong. Like this is just going to be a ridiculous 3 versus 2. That
it's going to be tough. Yeah. I think that's a great point. It's going to be a shit ton of pressure really on Dignitas to make sure that they live through this lane, and a lot of help is actually way too. What is? I'm not 100% clear. I feel like that means that Dignitas even
Enemy
more need the Sprout to actually, like, if the Juggernaut is Blade Furying, but you Sprout him inside of it, then you feel a little bit better just because once he runs out of tangos, he has to sort of pick up a Quelling. But if he's doing the enemy jungle, I think what you said is in full effect. This is an extremely dangerous lane for Dignitas up here. If Fogged has to stay like way back, and if he doesn't get any levels, if he's just stuck at level 1 forever, and if Aoi cops a couple of deaths, their whole plan kind of, it doesn't go well.
Looking at the warding situation, we see the block on the easy camp here. They have good coverage of the camps to the side, and actually that sentry from Fog not going to even get anywhere near what the observers are just seeing. So way too, has to make that transition down bottom. I mean, if you can't holler, then how in the world are you going to get dollars? So in this situation, he has to go in the jungle. It's the only safe place, but it does screw over the top lane so friggin' hard. Gyrocopter is completely out on a limb here, and it almost, I don't want to say they should abandon the top lane, but shoot, Aoi's not going to get anything.
I mean, it's a good point, Blizz. I don't know that abandoning it is the right move, but Dignitas probably have to do something. I mean, he's having so much trouble finding where this ward is. I feel so bad for Fogged. He spent his entire game trying to find this observer ward. This is a really cool spot. We actually don't see it used that frequently. It's literally as far as you can go while still blocking this.
Yep. There you go. So it's yeah, causing a lot of pressure and a lot of commotion for Fogged. And yeah, if you can't pull, if you can't control things in that regard, then you're pretty much just have no real ways to lock things down. I actually don't think it blocks it though. I think like this positioning from Yol is going to be blocking it in of himself, doing a body block here. But as far as that positioning, it's just way too far out. It does give great vision though. And
that's fantastic vision, yeah.
Knowing what's coming in that direction is going to be much more important.
You're right. I don't think it actually blocks it, but wow, I don't know. I mean, they're winning bot by a little bit. Lone Druid is getting his levels, which really is what you want. Honestly, Lone Druid Darkseer is a lane that's not that hard for Lone Druid, because he can get those entangles starting at level 5 that are very, very strong. They're trying to kill off this walking courier. I think they're going to do it. Oh, no, they're not. It's too bad.
Oh, he's going to try again. There we go. There's the teleport. There's a right click. That gives them something they really, really need. They desperately need some gold to start things off, and Way Too Sexy providing it very, very nicely with the kill of the little hexapus or whatever it is.
Hexapus, yeah, and it's holding the bottle. It's holding Dread's bottle.
Sweet. Oh my gosh, that's bad. This is finally a lane that I can say they actually have a huge advantage in now. Like you said, Darkseer versus Lone Druid, I feel that Dread is just going to have too much potential up against Universe in this composition. Universe is bottle crowing himself, so he'll be able to survive, but the last hits are going to be going the way of Dread the entire time. We do see on mid that Solo is actually skewered, and with that, that's going to be first blood. So, just good right-click damage, actually finding great opportunities, and we do see also a disconnect up on the top.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the whole thing about bottle ferrying. Like, when you're up against somebody like Nitrous Prophet, they can really, really punish you for it. And now, with no bottle, I mean, he's not going to buy a second bottle. So now you have a Warlock who's holding a TP scroll and 3 branches, right? Like, that's... and this Magnus is going to hit level 5 in about 3 seconds. And that means level 6 shortly thereafter, with the Warlock completely unable to punish him for doing so. So mid lane for RoX, I like what Dignitas have done here, because it almost pressures one of these supports from RoX.KIS to sort of move. And if they move to try to help out the failing middle lane, suddenly, you know, Dignitas aren't feeling quite so bad about this top lane.
Exactly. Finally, the creeps do spawn up here, but it's going to be a single bull, which inevitably just pushes out the wave a little bit. That's nice to have action with the siege creep, but they're just going to get a little bit of farm. That's it. There's just a little bit of experience, try to move it towards level 3, but even a little bit sniped up by Yol here, it's just going to really negate the potential. And in the end, although the creep wave will push down on the tower a little bit here and there, it's going to go long-term in favor of RoX.KIS even further. So they, in this position, again, Lone Druid is going to be dominating down on bottom more and more as time goes by. Now actually looking at Way 2, who's only sitting at level 3. If an entangle comes out, he has to teleport. First hit entangle, coming out Dread, he has to teleport. He does, he does get it. So that last right click, I thought he got a second entangle off. I'd be so pissed if that happened to me. But anyways,
this global Lone Druid auto attack, by the way, it looks so pretty. It's like a little shooting star. It won't kill Way 2, but I do like it.
I don't see that. It must have been a bug for
I just see it.
your side, but that's interesting. Either way, Flying Courier ready to go once it comes back up, so they're not going to have to worry about another Nature's Prophet snipe. But nevertheless, that the damage is done in that regard. Solo has been without rune control, without really any potential mana sustainability. So although he hasn't been delaned,
it's a Flying Courier for Dignitas. They still don't have a courier for another minute.
Oh, no, sorry. Shadow Demon picked up a Flying Courier recipe, and as soon as it respawns, they've got it covered. Anyways, down on bottom, Lone Druid getting dived up. There is a disruption. I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference, though. Even with that Soul Catcher, there is still the Treants tanking up that tower, but Universe taking a couple of hits here, and this last one, if he bottles it, will be fine. He does get the bottle off, so... Oh, no! It actually finishes it out with the last range. Right click.
I feel bad. He was so close to escaping there. Just quickly about the courier, do you think RoX made a... Oh no, Business Perfect is dead.
Holy crap, up on top there. Yeah, that is a big kill. That is huge for them. Going off of the full duration shackles, when they transitioned over the Shadow Demon, that was their window of opportunity to counter, initiate, and actually pick up a kill and turn things around for this desperate situation on top lane. But you had a question for me?
I don't care anymore. I forgot what it was.
Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Dignitas playing really well, honestly. They're doing what they need to do. The strategy made it very, very dangerous for them, like RoX's strategic approach, but tactically Dignitas have been on the ball, especially Way Too Sexy's rotations are going really, really well right now. And that's the thing, as soon as Juggernaut's Blade Fury is over, you get that long duration shackle, you get that gyrocopter follow-up, and it's just way too much damage. I mean, it's not like he has magic resist, he just has magic immunity.
Yeah, so now Universe is putting out some damage down on bottom, and he is getting some good dedicated experience. We're looking at experience per minute in general. We're seeing that Magnus is topping things out. Darkseer, not too shabby at all compared to the Lone Druid, and that's because of the kills that happened early on. Now, Dignitas is leading 3-1, so the experience graph is going to be in their favor, but let's look at the gold. Let's see who has the most, and looking at Lone Druid and Juggernaut's last hits, it's no surprise that they're doing very well at 280 and 320. The only thing that's more interesting is the fact that Magnus is doing so well since Fogged wasn't able to control without that bottle. So Snake King, I call him Fog because he's mid, but no, Snake King is Iron Shield up, invised out, and has a ton of gold to work with here. So looking for an opportunity to burn down the Lone Druid, but it's just going to be kind of a ships in the night situation.
Top, Fogged.
Yeah, there is going to be that spin, big damage. Double cask bounce is all he needed there, and I think that's because of the follow-up of the Disruption. Disruption gives those illusion spawns, and then from there, no matter where you are, you're going to be they're going to be bouncing, and it's a 1 in 3 chance to hit you. So multiple cast bounce is exactly what they were looking for, and finding an opportunity to burn down the Shadow Shaman very quickly. So Fogged, not doing so hot in this situation. What kind of items can he pick up if he wants to avoid those kind of things, other than abandoning the top lane? Which
Shadow Shaman?
Yeah.
He's just going to have to deal with it, honestly. There's not a lot that he can do, because he'd need... part of it is you're just going to get disabled heavily, and for that you kind of want to BKB, but Shadow Shaman's never going to afford a BKB. And, like, in theory, you can get Ghost Scepter to stay alive, and that'll help against the Lone Druid, but it'll barely help against anybody else. Fogged is just going to have to try to sort of find shackles where he can, make sure that Aoi gets those kills, and otherwise, you know, he's going to have to settle for the life of a number 5 is sometimes just very painful. But I feel like the XP situation is pretty bad for RoX, honestly. The fact that they haven't won this top lane by more means that Jug actually doesn't have that substantial of an advantage over where Aoi is at. And Darkseer has a level advantage on Lone Druid, so they're doing quite well in that regard.
Yeah, they're controlling the other lanes actually extremely effectively, and the kill up on top was very instrumental when the transition came on through. But now we see this push in action. Business had this Basilius active this entire time, and now Solo is here with a maxed out Shadow Word and the Chaotic Offering. So as far as contestment, I think that really the only thing Dignitas has to bring is to trade it out. Yeah, they have the double Wrath of Nature up. Fortification has been popped off. Only Warlock here, but here comes the Shadow Demon. He's going to try to make something happen, but he's in a really rough spot. No, that's a pretty big Fatal Bonds coming out on Aoi. He's going to drop quickly, committing the ultimate though. Either way, they really want that kill, but they're not finding it. The Skewer back, pulling away the Golem and the Shadow Demon. From there, that is going to be a clear-cut escape from the Gyrocopter. Not so fortunate for the Shadow Demon, turning things around, snaking with a couple of rank 2 shockwaves. However, Maledict just doing so much damage, and that's going to answer back.
They lost Lone Druid bottom, too. They had Jug and Lone Druid, and they died to this way too sexy Fogged from the Shekel.
Snake King's still in the mix here. He's up against a Golem, so he has to be careful, but that Skewer coming on up, just using the Shockwave, go for the RP double, and now Yul can get slowed down by this next Skewer, so that's enough damage for a double kill for him. That's 3 total when you count out that Shadow Demon, so a huge advantage for him, and he might just get away. The Bear going to be looking for an entangle, but does not have phases active, gets body blocked, and will not be able to. He'll be close, but even with a second hit entangle, it's not going to be enough. Now Fog turning things around. The Shackle actually gets entangled, immediately interrupting the Shackle shot. Now Fog dies. Look how squishy he is with one entangle.
That's the life of Shadow Shaman in this game, honestly. But honestly, that was a huge mistake from RoX.KIS. The Golem was sitting there bashing on creeps. They would have trivially killed the Magnus with 1 or 2 more autos from the Golem. I don't know what... I mean, I hate to say it, but Dread kind of messed up there by not ordering the Golem to just attack.
Yeah.
They might get this tower, but...
They got the deny on the mid tower. They're looking for this kill on the enemy mid tower, but we do see a blink already up for Snake King, pulling back in. Valiant is gonna have to pop off that defensive disruption here. The cask is flying around. Now the Bear trying to disable people up, but Fog is on the front lines, getting the shackle off, falling back now. He's the only one maledicted. He's entangled. He is so darn screwed over. But also Bank looking for the deny to the Roche, and instead gets a shockwave to the face. So he's gonna drop down 1-1 in that exchange, and in that, I guess nothing really accomplished other than defending this tower and still keeping the fortification up, which I feel is very important.
Honestly, I'm worried for RoX a little bit now, because this Magnus is doing very well. Snake King, we saw him be very big in Game 1, really generate a lot of plays, and he brings that sort of very aggressive... He has a very aggressive personal style that I think sometimes Dignitas doesn't do with their normal set of 5. Like, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But definitely Snake King swapping for Tides is just adding this weird wild card where when he gets the strong mid here and he has a good start, he just blows them up. And now he has his Blink Dagger, he has Arcane Boots and a Haste Rune. This is a dangerous Magnus, an incredibly dangerous Magnus.
Yeah, the blink is so amazing for him to have at this stage in the game. He's easily topping out GPM, especially with that tier 1 tower kill. And he's going to be, I'm not saying carrying the game, but he's going to be able to get some huge items. He can actually, instead of going for like a refresher, since I don't think that would be that big of a deal in these kinds of fights, he could actually go for some right-click damage of his own. Oh, that is weird. Going for a disruption with the skewer simultaneously, but he has haste, so he can follow this up with a big output, but double stun from the cask. He's having a hard time. Oh, triple stun from the cask and then tangle the boot. Oh my gosh. Snake King cannot get anywhere he wants to. The golem comes on down, looking for more follow-up, but they actually hex it up. Now, it looks like Fog is going to be another casualty of the battlefield, but...
Poor Fog.
Yeah. But they pulled everybody on out of there, so they're going to just keep the pressure rolling on the other lanes and, you know, just keep everybody alive. That's obviously their intentions here.
They gotta keep pushing for RoX, I feel like. They've got the push lineup, but they're not ahead on towers. Here comes the healing ward, and this signals their intention to just push this out. They've still got tons of lifespan on the golem in terms of time, and so the golem and the bear are just going to beat on these towers. I think that's what they need to do. Like, you can kill Fogged as many times as you want, and in fact, he represents 66% of their kills in this game. Actually, Solo really in trouble over here.
Down there, yeah, it's actually going to be too much damage for him to handle with this homing. This will come on out. Shockwave, yeah, it's easy right clicks. Good movement from Way 2. There is going to be an Omni Slash going across, spinning it on out. You can't jungle fight against this lineup, though. Snake King going to drop without even getting the RP off. And now Biz going to go looking for a crit onto Way 2. Doesn't find it, just finishes off with the third right click, but he suffered too much damage. And Owie, with the help of Magnus charging on through, will be able to clean this up nicely. So they actually make this fight work very well for them. And that's a really big deal for one reason. I think that going up against Witch Doctor and Juggernaut in the jungle, it's kind of terrifying. I mean, you got the Call of Nature, you got the Treants to tank up a little bit, but otherwise, bouncing back and forth, the Cask and the Omni Flash dishes out a lot, and you have to be very cautious about it. But now, we see them winning that team fight, still have the RP, because it got cancelled out in the end, and yeah, Roche is going to drop super quickly to empowers to the Serpent Wards.
Really good buyback from Snake King, by the way. The fact that he bought back really tipped the scales of the fight. They could have easily still lost the fight if he hadn't bought back, I feel like. And I think Dignitas are looking really good. Like I said, RoX have killed Fogged a billion times or so, but you can kill him as many times as you want, and you can still lose to the fact that Magnus is getting hype. Eventually the gyrocopter will be pretty big. And if you can't get these pushes going, if you can't just high ground very early, I mean, you have carry potential. The Jug can sort of sidetrack into a sort of a carry build. Obviously, Lone Druid is going to be going for big damage, but I still feel like you're at a disadvantage. And right now, they're still not really getting the levels either. Like, what's the XP graph look like? I mean, yeah, it's quite bad, frankly, the XP. The gold, I think, is almost not that important. 3K isn't that much, and it's just not the way this game is running. But being way behind on levels when you're the team that wants to clump up as 5 and push is like, you know you're eventually going to be behind on levels, so you don't want to start behind.
Yeah. That's a fair point to make. I didn't think about it that way because obviously they're going to inevitably be behind the levels, but if they had that advantage to begin with, then it would equal out much more nicely. Now we do see on the Courier, their intentions are very well shown. They want Arcane Boots, they want to keep pushing, and now they have 2 sets to work with. So that's going to be nice for them to keep this momentum rolling, but the thing about Dignitas' fight is it's about a quick fight. They go for a quick flat cannon damage, quick across the board damage from that reverse polarity, and there it is. Holy crap, Snake King with the biggest polarity of his life. Either shock or follow on through. There's a flat cannon, just incinerating everything, and that's exactly what they're looking for, even getting the Courier. Oh my gosh, Courier plus 5. Easy swing, all about snaking there with that blink initiation, finding the perfect circle to just completely incinerate things. And I was just about to finish my thought process of the Dignitas is all about a burst fight. Those first 4 seconds of a team fight are insanely advantageous for them, and they capitalize on it tenfold.
I mean, I said at the beginning of our cast today that the nice thing about having a stand-in that you know and have played with a billion times and work with is that it's not really going to hurt you. It's done a hell of a lot more than not hurt Dignitas. Snake King has like taken 2 games on his back, frankly. Yeah. The first game, and so far this game as well, has just been all about this Magnus, and what a huge RP that was. Any longer that fight would go with all the people from RoX.KIS up, and Dignitas would be in serious trouble because of those combos that we talked about. But you know, if you can't get any element of your combo off, who cares? Who cares that you have these spells that work well together if you're not casting spells?
Yeah, didn't even get a sliver of a chance. Warlock even if he had a mechanism up right now, would not matter. He is just in a desperate position because he wants to get his golem out, he wants to get his mechanism out in the future, and right now Snake King is just absolutely saying no. He's setting it up for his team to just deliver a huge amount of damage, and even this position here, Snake King roaming around in Viz allows the Gyrocopter Owie to feel safe, sniping up a couple of the enemy's Ancients, finding extra farm, taking it right out of their mouths, as it were, and yeah, a walking ward that has huge offensive potential is going to accomplish that, and now his cooldowns are almost back up.
I actually really think, just going back to the draft, that Clockwork ban instead of Magnus ban was a pretty huge error. Just because Magnus, your entire plan is going to revolve around you getting up as 5. And
Snake King going in here, but this could be terrible for him. He does have Darkseer to back him up. And actually, yeah, Fog is here as well. So this is a pretty good. In this position here, it feels like something RoX.KIS could really capitalize on if they weren't in the right spot. Going on in, they get a double RP from Snake King again, blinking on, even committing the wall along the tree line just to make sure of it. And now they have a 20-8 kill advantage, just completely getting everything they want for free. And it's all about Snake King here.
Yeah. I mean, this is very close to checkmate, honestly. I think RoX have maybe one attempt at winning a fight / pushing through left in them. And beyond there, I mean, Owie had an incredibly slow start, but he's been in so many fights, and it's been so long since RoX actually got a kill, especially on Owie, that he's now at Shadowblade phase, which is not a horrible position to be in at 17 minutes when you had a 3v2, like a 2v3 hard lane to play in. I don't know. I wanted to go back to the Magnus. If your strategy revolves around your team being together, probably you should ban out heroes that really punish a team for sticking together. So I don't know about the Magnus. I feel like maybe instead of Clockwork. Like, I understand why they banned Clockwork. Yeah. He's pretty good against Jug. He can trap the bear in, but I don't know. I feel like they could live with that better than they can live with what Magnus is doing to them this game.
Yeah, I think they jumped to the mindset of, well, Rocket Flare is a counter push. You max that out quickly. It hurts your push potential no matter where you are.
Really.
I don't know. Rank 4 Rocket Flare does a lot of AoE magic damage, and if you're on a completely different lane and having that global presence, suddenly you're like let's say Nature's Prophet goes one lane and with a Clockwork and starts pushing like crazy. They commit back-to-back Wrath of Natures and Rocket Flares down to a lane, and suddenly they're pushing faster than the push team. So I don't know. I see where it's valuable, but obviously in this case, Magnus making much more of an impact here. Snake King just playing it too well and really setting up his team nicely. I mean, he's 7-1-7, and every single team fight of theirs is completely in their court and not in RoX.KIS.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think RoX.KIS can try to push again. I'm not sure at this point that just freely sort of standard farming is actually going to help them at all. Maybe they're waiting for the Aegis to expire. Trouble for Buzz again, probably.
This is such a big Rhino. I mean, he was at double damage in Viz and surged up. He can just do huge right clicks here and just obliterate him. And yeah, Skewer and Shockwave to finish it off. Biz is perfect, completely locked down. Not really out of position to a big extent, but it's just every little bit you can't give him that window now that Fog has actually found a window where he's not dying and he's actually finding the chance to ward up on the enemy jungle. And now we see those wards really gaining traction, controlling very effectively. And now they go in on mid. They commit the RP to Solo, bring him down immediately. Again, no Golem. He's dropped one Golem this game. And now Owie. Oh my gosh, Owie cleaning up as well, and this pretty much might as well be it.
No Golem, no buyback on Jug. He's going to come back in 7 seconds, but Dignitas, they're no slouches in pushing themselves. They've got the Shadow Shaman wards, they've got the damage from Owie, they've got way too sexy's Treants and his damage, and I don't know, there goes the bear. He does have a resummon, I believe. Yes, he does. But I don't know. I don't think they'll Rax them, actually, unless they win the next fight, because they can bring Warlock back in. Do they not have Fortify? Okay, they just used it, so maybe they will get Raxed.
The melee Rax should be falling, but it depends if there's going to be some retaliation. No, they're going to surge on out. The Trents will do some damage, the Serpent Wards as well, but it will be sitting a little bit over 400, 500 HP by the end of it, because they know that they have to be on the aggression, the initiation, and right now, with RP down, with Rock up, they're not willing to take that 5v5.
Yeah. Just a quick note about the pushing. The thing about having a healing ward-based push is that unless they can blow apart your entire lane of creeps, like just incidental damage from a Wrath of Nature, say, you can heal that right back up just with the percentage heal, and especially on these big HP targets. But it hasn't even come to that, because RoX.KIS have a pushing lineup that hasn't been pushing. Partially because, you know, they just haven't been able to, because, as you said, every time they try to push, Magnus says no. It's like, well, now I guess we're stuck for the next 5 minutes waiting to sort of slowly waiting to die, which is a little bit tragic. I always love these sort of gimmicky single-purpose compositions, but Dignitas has just managed to put up an impenetrable defense of whenever RoX.KIS goes for a tower, Dignitas just jump on it, RP, and win the fight.
And I think a big part of that is involved in the fact that Way2 wasn't irrelevant. Like, he was in a position where without an easy camp, with vision on the western camp constantly, he was in a spot where if he stayed put, if he tried, you know, half-heartedly to be able to make something happen on the top lane, then he would have been screwed over finding no farm. But instead he transitions in, he helps out with the first blood in the mid lane, and he really starts getting kills and assists. Now he's sitting at 3-1 and 11. He's been all around the map, really helping things out, and he's found himself on Midas and Maelstrom, moving in towards Scythe of Ice. I really feel like there's a huge difference between a jungle prophet that just sits there and is like, oh, I farm creeps, oh, I get ganked, oh, I die, and just rinse and repeat, and this situation here. Now, Biz is perfect, getting RP'd on, easy pickoff, and the Wrath of Nature to help it out. Snaking will pick up a dominating spree as a result. So, finding another pick, and I wasn't saying Biz, I was saying Biz wasn't really that far out of position last time around. This time, completely out of position. Just no way that's justifiable. You cannot be that far extended when the enemy team is this much in control.
Yeah, I mean, Way2 in both games that he's played Nature's Prophet has just had really big damage. He's gone Mjolnir, or rather Maelstrom, in both games, and then sort of gone for the Sheepstick at some point afterwards. And with Empower, this is very legitimate damage for Prophet. I mean, it almost moves towards having the Prophet as a dual core. And in the first game also, Prophet was, what was he, 16-4 or something? Like, it was really quite something in terms of the amount of damage that Prophet was putting out. And you can't just neglect it. I mean, now that Prophet is a little less common than maybe he once was, or actually for a while he was completely gone from the meta, but now he's back in. You have to sort of keep in mind he is a borderline semi-carry, but he does have carrying capacity, and especially in concert with Aoi, who's dealing a ton of damage. Actually, with his Demon Edge, it might be might build towards the fine, I'll say MKB.
Thank you. No rapiers today, thank you. But yeah, they can go for MKB, or I think Daedalus would be very appropriate too. In this situation, he doesn't have to worry about evasion for a very long time, if at all. And he just has such good right-click damage here. I think, yeah, he might be kind of going for, you know, Admiral Kunkka goes in with that Shadow Blade. He does a quick burst. That's what we're looking for here with the Gyrocopter. Just going for some quick crits along with that Shadow Blade. It's going to be ridiculous if he can just pull off another one of those one-shots like we saw in one of the previous games. It's just adds up quickly, but we do see one big item on Snaking here if he wasn't big enough already. That is a refresher orb. That is a refresher orb.
Oh
yeah. Gosh.
That's pretty bleak if you're RoX.KIS facing up against Refresher Magnus. I like that he went Refresher. I know you said earlier that maybe he should build Battle Fury, but with the fact that Prophet can dish out a decent amount of damage and Gyro, I don't think they needed more damage. Yeah. I honestly think Lockdown's great, especially against Jug, who like you can't really lock down except with that through BKB type stuff. So I think the Refresher might seal the deal. They're definitely going to look to high ground pretty soon. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. They smoke up and they immediately have a disconnect.
Yeah, but he's still nearby, so move in a few seconds. Unless they're, you know, ghosting him for Pseudo Stream, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal, one way or another. But yeah, well, the one thing, the comment about the Magnus going for DPS rather than for the utility disable type stuff, that was at a kind of a different stage in the game where Gyrocopter and Nature's Prophet weren't doing so hot, especially the Gyrocopter just getting completely shut down on the top lane. But he's bounced back hard. 129 CS for him, 134 for the NP. They are going to do the damage, and now, yeah, we just need Snaking to do what he's known for in this case and just lay it to RoX.KIS with some big reverse polarities. So in this situation here, especially with this MKB now finished, that is going to pretty much set it up so that any single, even a half R, two, I gotta say, like, it's weird to describe it, but 2 half RPs, you hit half a team with 1 RP, and then you commit at least another one to a few more individuals. I think it'll still add up to a very successful team fight, especially since Vacuum can follow that up well.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, honestly, he doesn't have to hit amazing RPs anymore. He can hit okay RPs, and when you're going high ground, you kind of know where the other team's going to be. They're going to do Smoke Roche. What do you think about this Smoke Roche?
Well, as far as who they're going to give it to, right now the Juggernaut or the Lone Druid are obviously the only 2 options.
Jug, yeah.
I don't feel that either one really makes that much of a difference the second time around. You come up, if you have 2 Lone Druids, therefore, and the 2 Bears, great. If you have the 2 Juggernauts, your Omni Slash is already down. I don't know, it just seems weak, and now we see the call down. This is the timing window where Dignitas can really make something happen. The Serpent Wards go down, the Chaotic Offering does come out, but here's Snaking with a single double RP going down. The bear is going to be dropped, as well as the quick pickoff on Chu already.
Oh,
Everybody's dropping crazy. Nice action from Yol, but just gets facepalmed by Universe's right click here, and now that is going to be too much for them. Solo trying to clean up on Uni, but there's going to be snaking to...
And snaking has the Aegis.
Oh, he did pick it up too. Wow. They didn't, unfortunately, have enough mana available for Shadow Shaman, but... you know, one way or another, they took a bunch of kills. They killed the bear once. They killed the... actually, no, they didn't kill the bear. But they killed the Shadow Demon, the Witch Doctor, the Juggernaut. They picked up the Aegis themselves. So, really, really great for Dignitas. And fortunate timing that they were able to actually respond to it.
It's hard to watch, Blaze. This game is a little hard to watch. Because, honestly, RoX.KIS have been... They really are on an upswing, honestly. A lot of people, I think, maybe unfairly discounted them when they had... You know, they had a series of roster changes. They had this sort of potential to build a star team around that new solo mid, Sharfik, who's sort of been tearing up the solo mid scene up to that point. He leaves, everyone's like, oh, they're Roos Dodo, this team's over. And they've honestly been, I've been really impressed. They've been putting out some really good games, and I feel like this series, their Game 2 lineup, gimmicky but extremely effective. It was very intelligently drafted. And in this game, I just feel like maybe the execution wasn't there. I like the concept, and it seemed like they really should have convincingly won that 3v2 lane. But just they lose the Courier, and I think that was the first sign of trouble.
Yeah.
When they lost the Courier and Solo couldn't get that development on the Warlock that he wanted mid, it sort of just threw a wrench into the whole plan. Like, it was a very tight timing, right? Like, we're going to hit X at the X time, we're going to have Warlock hitting 6 at X time, then we're going to push and win. And when you're on a tight time schedule like that and the game drags on and you don't get the kills and you don't get the towers, it's just a tough position to find yourself in.
Biz is actually in a pretty bad spot himself. He will get backed up with a vacuum, pulls everyone back on in. Snaking goes for a double RP and a second one just on Shadow Demon alone, but the Wild Replica do him work and they're just obliterating it. No, not even a point to call it. The damage is too much. Their level advantage is amazing, and now even Solo is going to drop down. This is just too much of Snaking. Might as well just, you know, 1v5. It's just too much.
He might get him. No,
he's not going to.
He might get him.
He's surged. He's not going to be able to get locked down. Actually, the tower will force out the Aegis. No, still surviving, just barely. Plenty of armor to work with. And from there, yeah, good game, well played is called. That is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. This was Game 3 of this Best of 3 series. Of course, previously went 1-1, but now Dignitas just showing where they stand, showing that even with a stand-in, even with... I mean, you can't even really say even with a stand-in. Snaking played amazingly here. And... they were able to just completely, they played some diverse stuff early on, they played some very, very effective, stable stuff in this late game here, and now we see that it doesn't even reach late game. 27 minutes in, they do so very amazing well that they're just kind of goofing around at this stage. They have 4 staff, they're like, okay, do whatever we want, but he actually goes for a skewer on out, he gets all 3 of them. Are we serious here? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous.
Yo, I hope the check is in the mail for Snaking, because he delivered.
Most definitely.
2 games. He delivered. 11-1 Magnus, Refresher Blink, 4-staff Arcane Boots, 27 minutes, skewering from inside the fountain. I mean, obviously, okay, that was a showboating play, but still, great play from Dignitas, honestly. Fantastically put together, sort of facing up to the difficult to deal with sort of single-minded composition and just tearing it apart at the seams, basically.
Yeah, well, there we go. Now, for those that do not know what we normally do, what we're going to be looking at after the match is a post-match interview with one of the members of Dignitas. We're going to be having them on and asking them some questions. So when I request for that in the chat, just go ahead and I'll tell you exactly which player you're going to be asking questions indirectly to, and from there I'll try to field some really good ones at them to have some insight on this matchup here. But my oh my, was this a fun series. I was going to say game, but holy crap, this series blew my mind as far as these weird things. The Omni Knight pick was so darn strong from RoX.KIS, but everything about it was just very, very interesting. Some unorthodox stuff, just some really stable stuff in this Game 3 here, but either way, pulling it on out is going to be Dignitas with a really, really great counteractive strategy. When Way 2 got that core you mentioned, they started that pretty much signaled absolutely one lane for Dignitas, and then Way 2 started spreading that wealth around, putting pressure elsewhere, and when they forced the TP of the Shadow Demon, that was RoX.KIS kind of giving up their foothold, their one major dominant force on the top lane, with that kill that went to against Juggernaut. So from there, you know, when you have a Juggernaut that's 1-8-3, Lone Druid that's 1-5-3, they're not getting the gold they need to make an impact here, and obviously went the complete other way around, especially team fight by team fight, with some awesome MVP initiations by Snaking.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. No, I actually don't have anything more to say about this game. Good series. Dignitas improving their position. They still, I think, are in an outside shot at playoffs just because some earlier games, earlier in the season, I feel like they really struggled to get good footing, which is interesting because, I mean, Dignitas is at the top of some other tournaments. I know they're in the finals of the Russian Dota League, the Winners Bracket finals. Obviously, they were third, I think, in the defense, or up there. So, you know, a team that's a little bit streaky. Sometimes you get great performances, sometimes you get ones that are a little less impressive, but definitely looking quite strong at the present moment.
Yeah, most definitely. So, moving on up there, it's going to be difficult for them to if they want to try to compete for a playoff type position. But either way, just showing how powerful they can be, and kind of bouncing back and forth. Like they had a really strong streak when they just got sponsored out of bottom, and since then they were trying a lot of different unique things and trading up their stability for a little bit of unpredictability, and that had success here and there. But now I really feel like they have a lot of potential to combine those two together, have a lot of stable powerhouse lineups, and something a little bit unorthodox to kind of slug at the opponents. So in this case, I saw a little bit of both, but either way, awesome game from everybody involved. So that's going to be it for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the professional cast here. If you guys want to check me out, I'm Blaze. You can check me out on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all under Blaze Casting. So just check that out in that regard. And yeah, if you can follow me or whatever you want to do there. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Where can they find you, Vic?
So you can find me, just Google my name, VYKROMOND, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and I actually have a website. I'm going to be so far I've been just sort of blogging about different tournaments, but I'm going to use it a little more to announce casting and stuff. I will be casting, I think, maybe a couple more guest appearances on TPL for this season, possibly. I don't know what the schedule for that is. And then also, starting Monday, if you are interested in my casting, I am casting an entire big, long tournament at like Eastern times, so like early in the morning in U.S. times, and then late at night U.S. times. So feel free to check that out as well. I'll have more details about that on my site and on Reddit. Anyway, thanks, Blaze. This is a great opportunity. I love these two teams. They're great play coming from them.
Absolutely. So once again, guys, we do have the post-match interview coming on after. For those in Dota TV, you can just head on over to twitch.tv/thepremierleague, and that's where we're going to have one of the Dignitas members coming in for an interview here to see what they thought about this matchup. So I'll get confirmation from them and figure out exactly who's going to be the one communicating with us. But beyond that, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed.